Do you think to handle things you gotta handle it aggressively?
I think to a certain extent, and I think it's all about the position on where you at. Like, I don't think you got to be like that in the beginning, or you might have to be like that in the beginning. Depends on what industry you in. Okay, let's say this, right? Let's say you are, say we're doing a podcast, right? But let's say that we have some competition, right? In our competition, let's say it's another podcast up and coming, right? And where our goal is to take them out. But somebody comes and gives us some little dirt on the other people on the team. Mm-hmm. You think we're not going to use it if it's going to get us to the top?
So you said you would use it?
Nigga, hell yeah. Nigga, I'm trying to get to the top. I want to be number one.
I guess here's my thing. I guess that's why
I feel like you can be number one without bashing anybody.
And I agree. Like, do you really have to take it that far? If you guys' podcast is based off helping people, if you guys are helping somebody, if podcast B is helping somebody, why would y'all want to put smut on them if they still...
Derek Jackson.
What about him?
His whole podcast, his whole conversation in the car was about uplifting women and exposing men, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Nigga was doing all kinds.
But he had a hidden agenda, though.
Everybody got a hidden agenda.
So I guess that leads me to... What do y'all... So this is kind of paper over passion.
No, so passion gets you started. Passion gets you going.
For some, it's paper over passion.
No, see, here's the thing we fail to realize. At some point, it has to be about the paper. Because when it becomes a point to where, when we're busting moves, and it's affecting our job, and it's going to be to a point to where, if we go over there and it's going to give us a certain status, but we got a job, what we going to do? Are we going to go to work? Are we going to go over there and do that?
I guess the part where I'm caught up on, to get to the papers, it's seeming like, I know you don't mean like literally cut somebody's leg off, but it seems like you got to tell somebody break a leg and mean it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's the part.
Yeah, bro, honestly, I don't give a fuck. We can run it down the list. Industries, rappers, anybody. Bro, if you're trying to be that man or the number one, you have to be a type of person that's willing to take advantage of every opportunity. And sometimes those opportunities can be the demise of another person. That's just the reality of it. I don't know nobody that's never done it. That has a bag. I don't know nobody. Like, give me a billionaire. Give me somebody, honestly.
I need people to tap into that.
That's actually
it's a good.
But like, okay, look at Joel Osteen, right?
The church guy here, right?
You know how many people that talk about him, talking about he lives in one of the biggest houses in Houston and all that type of stuff. When all the stuff was going on, his house was big and none of that. People was talking about all that. He said his house is big as a stadium. Oh, he never did this. He never did this for the community. But he's pushing off that like, I'm willing to do anything for everybody. Now I'm loosely saying it. People be like, oh, it didn't really happen like that. But honestly, tell me. Okay, all right. Prime example. You are a pastor, right? What is your job? To preach to the people. Why do some places like Joel Osteen, you do have to have a certain bag in order to be in there?
You gotta be on the level, man.
You can't. Ain't no poor people sitting in the front. None, unless he's going to their community.
So he's saying it's always an agenda.
I'm just saying, it's just like, and it's not to say people are bad people, but like honestly, think about it. Like somebody got to be you got to be a certain kind of individual to be the man. Like I remember this one guy who was talking about Puffy. And we all know Puffy got a lot of smoke, right? But he said in order to be a person in that status, you have to be a certain kind of person. Like, there's no niggas talking about.
So would that be worth it to y'all? To know that to get to the money, by your definition, you probably gotta be morally unethical. Would it be worth it with fame or money or status?
Then that's like you gotta. But that's why they always say you gotta set your price. You gotta define where you want to be at. If you're not trying to be in the elite, of course you ain't gotta take all those chances like that. I'm talking about the people that are up there, like the people that got the bag, like for sure got the bag. They didn't get that bag just by being good people. Like, nah, bro, they was cutting corners. They was doing their shit.
It sounds like I sound like that point of view is being, I guess, fueled by culture. Culture would tell you to do what you got to do, but if you're going off culture's views, then I think you already lost in the first place then. Because culture is hot. Culture was dancing with Soulja Boy a decade ago. Now it's
Oh yeah.
So if you going off what coach is saying, you're gonna be pushed by the wind either
Like
way.
me, I definitely don't want to do things that's gonna not make me honorable or go against my integrity as a man or if I got push over on somebody or whatever, it wouldn't be something I want to do intentionally. You know what I'm saying? If it happens just for me to get the bag, I don't. It depends on what the situation is, because I don't see myself doing none of that.
So and always, that's why they always say, name your price. You name that. You name what you want to be now. You name it now, because once you get and I don't know how many interviews you've seen people say that. Once you get to a certain level, you start to see it's not what you thought it was. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
You're amongst people, dog, that are doing the most outlandish stuff, and you never would have thought about it. Like, I never, like I don't know how many times you've seen that. Like I said, like me personally, I'm not trying to be Joe Buttons or none of them. I just want to be able to do it to where I can benefit and be able to say, like, okay, you know what? I can just do this, and then you like I said, I don't have to have 1 million followers. You know what I'm saying? I'm naming my price. I don't like I said earlier. I don't have to. I'm not in the business of being the greatest. I'm not. I just want to be able to do it and have fun, enjoy it, like you said, and have fun, enjoy it, and be able to say, yo, Ted, to this week we're gonna run seven podcasts because we got the time to do it.
Yeah, I think that's what it's about.
And that's what I said.
Love
Naming our
doing what
price.
you like, doing it and monetizing it. Love doing what you do and monetize it. I think that's in a nutshell on how it should be. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It shouldn't be. But to me, I don't think. I don't know how can I say it. Like just doing things that's gonna go against my integrity, like things I wouldn't normally do, just to get the bag. I couldn't see myself doing.
So you guys pretty much know what you would and what you wouldn't do to get to the bag.
Oh yeah. Now I'm not going in no room with no dudes. I'm not doing none of that. Nothing.
Yeah.
Like unless we talking about some business. Other than that, I'm not doing anything that's gonna make me feel like when I walk out of that room, I'm gonna feel less of a man. Like no, I'm not about to do all that. What I'm just saying is like, if I just want us to be in a position to where we can be able to do what we want to do and still take care of our families. I don't need a Ferrari. I don't need a Lambo. I don't care, even though it would be nice. But I don't want none of that. I just want to be able to, like I said, you know what? Let's go do a show in Atlanta. Like, let's go do like a little storefront or something like that to where we can like make a little money and still be able to maintain life. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So I like what you guys are saying, and you guys both admit, or you guys are both saying you guys know yourselves pretty well.
Well, we're 38 years old, man. We better know ourselves.
Well,
At least that much.
well, I guess that's what I want to push back on, right?
Right.
How well do you really know yourself? I feel like I've talked, especially with my line of work, we've been locked in the house for about a good year and a half, a year and some change. And people that thought they knew themselves, they spend a little time with themselves, not going outside, and they found out more stuff about themselves. So do we really feel comfortable with saying, I know what I will and won't do? Are we really, can we say that?
I think that all that just comes with growth. Like he said, we 38 years old. Like when you experience things over time, you start going into knowing who you really are. You might not know off back who you really are. Like you can't really fund it, but when you feel comfortable inside your skin, you're not caring what anybody think. You got your set principles and the things that you do as a person, and you know who you are already. You know what I'm saying? I think you can fully know who you are. It just takes time. Some people know it at a young age. Some people don't start knowing it until they like, a little older, because they haven't really been through a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? But I think you can definitely know who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And what about you? What you feel?
I think I know myself enough to know what I'm willing to go as far as to start stepping towards. Like I said, it's a lot. Like you said, of course, the lottery thing. I think that's like the biggest misconception a lot of people have, right? And I always say that because, like I said, a lot of people say what they're going to do if they hit the lottery. I'm gonna start a business. Why? You're not a business person. You never owned a business.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. I think you will lose more money trying to start a business. You might as well just chill and relax and just enjoy your money. You know what I'm saying?
People love throwing that word around like, I want to be a boss and start their own business, but they don't do the due diligence or figure out what it takes to run that business and willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done. You know, they're just saying it.
I like that you said that because I was thinking about this earlier when I was driving yesterday, right? You know how everybody, when they're raising their kids, they speak highly or they speak into the kids, life like, okay, you're a king, you're a king, you're a king. Do you feel like sometimes that's like a false hope that they put off into the kids by calling them young king? Oh, you're a king, you're a king.
Nah, I don't think so. I think it's good to actually tell that to your kids and strive them, like, because rather just say you got somebody calling you a king versus somebody that call you, oh, you ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be nothing growing up, and you gonna have that instilled in you, like, maybe I'm nothing then. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but not so much.
You got somebody calling you a king. You got somebody saying you can do this. You can make something happen. You got that instilled in your head. Maybe I can do that. You know what I'm saying? And some people don't realize that till they get older. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can make this happen for myself. You know what I'm saying?
So like this is what I be thinking, right? This is what made me think of that, right? So you heard about the Prince Harry and all that shit going on, right? So these are actually born into royalty, right? They have an opportunity, even though the king status is not what it was, whatever, but they still have an opportunity of actually being a king, holding that title, holding that monarchy, right? So it's like this. Even when you're born into royalty and you have siblings, there's still not a chance you're going to be the king. You're going to be a prince, duke, whatever, right?
Yeah, it's not in you.
So it's not in you. So and that made me think, right? And I look at a lot of people, how they react, how everybody plays a position, right? So in every group, depending on who you're around with, whatever, right? There's always going to be that one person. And you would say, in some senses, okay, he's the king of that group or whatever, right? He's the one that's pretty much providing the opportunity for everybody else. But see, you got a lot of other people that are sometimes around him that think they should be the king too, right? Yeah. And a lot of times people feel like they deserve that title or feel like they're given that title because either how they were raised, what they were told, so on and so forth. It's like, I used to be like, oh, my son, you're a king, you're a king. But I had to realize it's not so much just saying, yo, you're a king or take that away from him. I'm going to always encourage him to do better, to be great. But I don't want to give him something to where it's kind of like, okay, son, you're a king, so don't settle for nothing less. But when you get to grow up and you get in the world and you're not achieving those things, so you tend to use that as a reason why you want to take somebody else out or hate on somebody else. It's like I think a lot of people are being raised to think they should be more than what they are, and that's the reality of it. Not everybody's meant to be the man.
Let me just give pushback on what y'all saying.
I think it's good to instill that in your kid, though, like to even for them to grow up feeling like they can do, even though they're not that person, they have to go through that experience anyway. But to make them feel like they can do it, though. That's the whole.
No. Always encourage them to be something in life. But what I'm saying is like a lot of times, like for instance, like when like say for instance a kid play a sport, like or just like because a kid is tall. They feel like they ain't shit because they ain't play no sports. Like, I'm in a gang of tall people. Like, I'm just saying, but like, they get that force in their head. Like, why you don't play sports? Or why you don't play football? Like, why you don't do this? It's like we forcing these ideas on them. Instead of just saying, you're going to be great no matter what you do. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
But you guys just told me you guys have a pretty good idea of knowing yourself. I want to go back to this. I think you made a really good point. But aren't you guys doing the same thing when you say you know yourself? Like you guys are doing the same exact thing. You say you know yourself based off your experiences. I feel like if your car break down, would you know how to fix it?
No.
Who would you have to take it to?
Mechanic.
Yeah. Because you guys didn't create the car.
Yeah.
You guys didn't create yourself.
Or I'm lazy. I don't want to.
Yeah, but I mean, I would take it to the mechanic. If my Toyota broke down, I'd probably take it to Toyota or somebody can fix it. How do we say we know ourselves fully and we don't even know if we don't know the person that even created us? We didn't create ourselves, so we put limitations saying, oh, I know myself. At 38 or 40, I know exactly who I am. But at 50, you might be...
Well, I know myself thus far. I know what I'm capable of doing.
But is that only based off the experiences that you had? Because if maybe... I think, how can you truly know something that you didn't create? You can only know something you didn't create yourself. So I feel like if you...
I think it's coming into yourself. Like, of course, there's always room for growth. There's always gonna be, but like he said, like thus far, what we at this point in our lives, we're comfortable and know ourselves enough to do what we need to do.
But wouldn't that be a limitation that you put on yourself? Because if you say, I know for a fact I don't public speak, or I know for a fact I don't do NASCAR or country music, whatever.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Wouldn't that, by you saying I know myself, aren't you just putting barriers and labels and limitations on
So
yourself?
basically right now, it makes it sound like we're saying no to stuff that is not going to be a part of who we are.
Exactly. It's just, I feel like up until my point at 28, if I say I know myself, it'd just be based off the experiences that I have for 28 years.
Right,
In reality.
that's true.
So that's what I'm saying. When we when we're really saying that I want to get philosophical on you guys, because I'm a philosophy major. Like, I do think we need to self-examine, and when we're talking about calling our kids kings and stuff like that, I get what you guys, I don't have kids, so I can't speak on this, but I would say, I think that's just a false narrative to say you know yourself because you're just gonna put a, I don't know, I think when we say we know ourselves, even at 38, even at 50, you can totally be somebody new at 51, even if you are 50 now, so, I don't know. I just wanted to see what you guys felt about that. That was just something I mauled over when it comes to limitations and labels. We tend to know ourselves.
Like, I get what you're saying. Like, far as when it goes to as far as experience in life, yeah, I know there's a whole another aspect of experience in life because, not only with myself, my kids are getting older, so it's gonna be a point in time where I don't have kids no more, so I'm gonna have to experience that part of life all over again, but not all over again because I'll be older. Now I'm an older man with older kids and then possibly grandchildren. So of course I understand there's gonna be more experiences, but I'm just saying as far as it's like, far as my little personal habits and stuff that I have thus far, I think I know myself. So let's say I did come into money tomorrow or I did come into opportunity tomorrow, I kind of know myself enough to know which side I will take. Now, once I take whatever side, then that's going to change me into a different person. I might now that I have money, I might be a completely different person. Not so much to say that I won't have the same morals and values, but my choices might be different. Like instead of I would probably cut a corner on here, but now that I got the money, maybe I will go out and get the actual up to date, new and improved version of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's all about that. But just to kind of like touch on that, it's just that I think, like you said, sometimes we do put ourselves in a box thinking we know ourselves a little too much.